UFL 9 week preview. Let's get it. Okay, I got a lot of questions going into week 9. Uh, what are the playoff teams going to look like? The playoffs are set in stone. Home field advantage is set in stone. What is like Michigan, Birmingham, St. Louis, DC? What are they going to show us in week 9? And honestly, week 10 too. But I'm focused right now. I'm focused. Um, what are the non-playoff teams going to show us? Are we going to get to see more guys get opportunities now that teams are knocked out? Like for instance, in Arlington, do we see more Holden Ahlers? Uh, I already know in San Antonio we're going to see Kellen Mond again, but that's just because Kevin Hogan's hurt. But I want to see what teams are bringing out to show us. Do we continue with the like competitive streak that we've seen in the UFL, especially the last few weeks, and especially in week 8? The games were hyper competitive, very close, very entertaining. Do we get to keep that streak going? I really hope so. And then last, I want to see what the crowds look like. I know Birmingham's doing a special deal where it's like buy one to this Michigan game, uh, get free tickets to the next Michigan game and the conference championship game. I want to see what the efforts of things like that kind of do for the league, do for crowd sizes, and it's a damn shame, San Antonio. You don't get another home crowd. You play in St. Louis. I'll get to that later. But I'm also interested to see what kind of storylines emerge. The MVP race, will Jordan Tom kind of like lock that up with his amount of play combined with the level he's playing at? I feel like he's kind of got that one locked up. And I'm also interested in ABC versus Fox. It's been a ongoing thing this season. It's been very stark that ABC has had so much of like a higher viewership compared to Fox, and I want to know if that continues. And I also am interested to know why ABC has such drastically higher viewership than Fox. Because I like both broadcasts for different reasons, but maybe it's just the fact that it's ABC as the channel. I really don't know. Okay. It's at this point in the show that I am joined by one lemon guy. Um, for those of you who don't know, DC super fan. So, lemon guy, I got a couple questions to ask you, friend. Number one, who are you?
So I'm a super fan for the DC Defenders. We were inspired. Uh, First game, February 19th, 2023. First game back from COVID. Everybody's at the stadium. We're pumped up. And we start building the beer snake, which was like kind of our tradition towards the first couple games of 2020. And Audi Field security starts confiscating the cup. And, as fans, we're like, come on, guys, we're just trying to have fun. So in the stadium, they were selling these pre-made cocktails that had half lemons in them. And so in protest, fans just started throwing them onto the field. Started with like one, two, then like 20, 30, 40, 50 lemons at once. It was amazing. Like, everybody in the crowd, we were just looking around thinking, we kind of like this. So the next week, I ordered lemon Hawaiian shirt, lemon socks, just started decking myself out in lemons, and it was just an inspiration throughout the rest of the season.
All right, lemon guy. What makes DC so special?
I think it was in part, well, the Commanders are good now. Washington Commanders, our NFL team here in DC, they weren't so great a couple years. They weren't so great in 2020, and even 2023 it was like, they're still kind of on the up and up. So it's a very football hungry city, and there's no spring football, so we just embrace it as a fandom. Like we're a football hungry city, and we just want to go out, have fun at a game, and for $25, you have 20,000 best friends on a Sunday.
What are your opinions as a lemon guy in DC? What are your opinions on year 2 of the UFL for the league as a whole and just DC for the Defenders?
League as a whole, I think the quality of football is really good this year. Um, As for the Defenders, like, great team this year. Like, it was sort of going into the season, losing Coach Barlow. We were just had a lot of questions like, are we going to be good? Is this going to be like last season where we kind of fell off? But it's been an amazing year so far. And definitely the team has been feeding off our energy and we've been giving going back and forth. But it's fun. The team's embraced us.
What are your thoughts on the XFL Conference Championship game being in St. Louis no matter what? Like not getting home field advantage despite anything?
It's unfortunate. We had so we do have other local venues like University of Maryland would have been a great place. But I understand, due to either scheduling conflicts and other restrictions, probably budgetary issues too. I mean, it sucks, but I kind of understand. It had to be there, but we'll play. It's okay. We'll just play in St. Louis We'll just play in St. Louis twice in 1 month. It's okay.
If you could make one change to the United Football League, what would that change be?
Let's see. One change. I think modifying the Super Challenge a little bit because I think like being able to challenge, if there was a false start, to me that's I don't know, it's kind of weird. I feel like they should put a few limits on what the Super Challenge can be.
In a similar vein, if you could say one thing to the higher ups, what would you tell them?
Advertise more year round because it feels like maybe February there's maybe one Super Bowl ad, but otherwise we don't really hear or see anything until the season starts. And I guess one other thing, start it the week after the Super Bowl again. Because that will get attendance up. People are still hungry for football. Change it back.
All right, Mr. Lemon, give me your championship matchup and final champion.
I mean, yeah, I have hoping, knock on wood, DC and probably Michigan, because the Panthers are, oh my gosh, they are a powerhouse this year. But I have DC over the Panthers because we're gonna bring the championship home this year.
Looking towards the future of the UFL, what do you want to see in year 3?
In the UFL, hopefully expansion. I'd love to see more just interaction, with the league to fans. They're doing better this year, but just more activities on game day, more meetups in the off season, and just kind of, I guess, just communication wise, just get it out sooner.
And anyone you want to shout out?
Oh, there are so many. Shout out to all the other DC super fans out there. There are too many of us, and I look forward to going to the championship with you guys.
Game number 1, we have the San Antonio Brahmas hosting the St. Louis Battlehawks Friday at 8 p.m. on Fox. Actually, though, it's St. Louis hosting the Brahmas. It's an extra home game for St. Louis. Because I guess if you're going to give any team an extra home game, it's going to be the Battlehawks. Do we get to see a little Chevan Cordero? He's back, and week 8, Duggan. They got the win, but Duggan, man, the passing game that he was displaying was absolutely pitiful. So I wonder if they get to throw a little Cordero in there just to kind of spice things up a bit. I know it's the Brahmas, so if you want a guy to kind of go in, there's 2 different ways to approach it. If you want to get Cordero feeling comfortable again, get him in because it's against the Brahmas, the worst defense in the league. But also, if you want Max Duggan to kind of get comfortable passing the ball, why not do it against the Brahmas? It's the worst defense in the league. Okay? Okay. I don't expect a ton out of this game. St. Louis probably playing things close. They want to avoid any injuries. And San Antonio stinks. And yes, they played a very competitive game last week against the Showboats, but I don't suspect they have 2 of those in a row just from watching this team all year. Obviously, players will still play hard. I don't know. I feel like we're going to go back to a classic Friday night slop fest, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Game number 2, Saturday at noon, we have the Renegades versus the Showboats, Arlington versus Memphis. And I have a couple questions about this one. How much Perez are we going to get for the rest of the season? How much time do us spring football lovers have left with Luis Perez? So the question turns into: do we see Holden Ahlers for the Renegades, just so they can kind of take a look at what they have? Because I don't. It feels again like we're approaching the final year of Luis Perez in football, at least as a player, and the Renegades probably had to be figuring out what they got coming up. The Showboats are a scrappy team. They have a lot going for them. I think coming off of that major win, I think they do what they've been doing all season against everyone besides the Stallions the one time and the Brahmas the one time. They keep it close, but they lose. I think this is going to be a defensive matchup. I think this is going to be low scoring. I think the Renegades defense kind of has a bounce back after playing like they did against DC and getting embarrassed. I think they suffocate Memphis, and I like Memphis's defensive front. The Renegades still probably don't have that great of a run game at the moment, so I kind of like a low scoring affair, a sloppy game, and I think that favors Arlington. So I'm going to go Renegades here in a tight one. Really tight, really tight. If you know what I mean. Sloppy game. When I say sloppy, I don't mean bad. It's going to be fun. It's going to be defensive. It's going to be sloppy, but it's going to be good. Saturday, 3 p.m., we have game number 3. The Michigan Panthers versus the Birmingham Stallions. A rematch and potential preview this year of the USFL Conference Championship game. Although it probably won't look very much like that because it's going to be Danny Etling getting the start for Michigan. Bryce Perkins is out. He is nursing an ankle injury, so we're getting a full Danny Etling game. I also wonder if Birmingham plays multiple quarterbacks just to see their whole situation and get a feel for that. Both teams probably feeling each other out. Probably not wanting to show too much, being as the USFL Conference Championship, no matter what, will be hosted in Birmingham. So I'm interested in this one. I don't know what to expect. I do wonder if Michigan obviously they want to win, but they also, in my mind, they need to get over the mental barrier of playing Birmingham. So this is a potential big matchup for Michigan, especially playing Etling. So you have nothing to lose, nothing to hide with that because your offense is a little bit different with Perkins in. And Birmingham, you're going to be swapping in quarterbacks, I imagine. Maybe we see a little Magoo, maybe we see a little J. Moore. It's something to watch out for. This is going to be an interesting matchup, just like everything else. But honestly, the vibe of Week 9 is I have no idea what to expect out of any single game. This one especially, though. Sunday, 4 p.m. Defenders versus Roughnecks. Actually, a very intriguing quarterback matchup. Jalen McClendon, Jordan Ta'amu. How much do they play Ta'amu? I think they play him the whole game. He's vying for an MVP spot. I don't think this is a league where you sit players. I think you keep this momentum going for DC. The offense is absolutely cooking. You see if the defense can do something against a surging Houston Roughnecks who have shown a propensity to at least put up yards, if not points, even in losses. So I think they relish the opportunity to go up against this Roughnecks team. DC does. For the Roughnecks, just keep trying, baby. Your backs were against the wall last week. You crumbled under the pressure, but now you have no pressure anymore. Maybe this frees up Houston to actually do something and have some fun football. This is probably the most exciting matchup of the week. I think we're going to get some points. I like the battle that we have. I feel like both starting quarterbacks are going to be in it to win it. And, keep an eye on it. This is going to be a very pointsy game. I think this one has the highest potential to be a shootout. So be on the lookout here. Sunday's going to be fun. It's going to be a Sunday fun day in the UFL. And that'll do it for Week 9 of the UFL. TV, crowds, excitement, sexual tension, pizza, sexual tension again, and fun. That's what we expect to see this beautiful week of the United Football League. We're coming to the end soon. Only 2 more weeks left of the regular season, and then bada boom, bada bing, bada bam, it's the postseason. So cherish these moments. Live for these. I'm UFL Jim. I love you.